It's a beautiful morning. I just left the campsites near Cataract Creek. Lots of hikers were there, and everybody's off early trying to get into Leadville. It's about 9 miles, and I'm doing pretty good. It's chilly, and unfortunately my foot is a little jacked up from the downhills yesterday. It actually slipped and fell on a really steep reroute that was just like lots of loose gravel. And yes, I'm a little achy this morning, but I'm gonna go into town. I'm gonna stay at Inn of the Clouds overnight, get my wash done, decide if I need to see the doctor or not, and then, yeah, take it from there. Oh, there's some boulders. And looks like I got a good bit of downhill for right now.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's
more downhill, and this is the kind of gravel that is really hard for me with my foot with the tendonitis, so I'm hurting.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step.
I'm on my third stretch of road walk this morning, which I don't mind because they're flat and that favors my foot a little bit. And it's kind of pretty down here in the valley floor. But I think when I get to those trees, I may have a little bit of climbing to do. Okay, somehow when I was coming down the road from that way, I was so focused on bridge troll over there. His name's Reed. We just gave him that name because he was hiding under the bridge. I ran across the bridge to eat second breakfast, and he's like, "Did you see the bunkers?" No. So I'm gonna go look now. These, I believe, are from World War II training for the 10th Airborne. I will double check those facts. All right, so I had a lovely little second breakfast break with Reed and Shayla. Met them a couple days ago on the trail, and like everyone, they're heading to Leadville. I think I'm on day 17, and I cannot believe how I still get so winded by even the littlest ups. It's crazy. I can go from feeling great to feeling completely out of breath in like 30 seconds. And I'm really not sure what to do about it, unfortunately. It's kind of depressing. Just came down from there and had to cross the highway. And there's train tracks over here. I haven't heard any trains in quite a while. And I do believe that I am heading downhill this way. So probably crossing the train tracks too. So the last 2 miles of the trek to Tennessee Pass, which is where you hitch into Leadville, is on this old logging road. Very, very slowly uphill. All right, so hopefully my phone won't fall over, but I want to tell you what happened when I got to Tennessee Pass. So I was hiking up that dirt road, and about a quarter mile from the trailhead, I passed another hiker, and he says to me, "Are you Jocelyn?" And I said, "No, but I'm Joellen," because Jocelyn is the way a lot of people pronounce my name sometimes. So I said, "Why do you ask?" And he said, "Well, somebody's at the trailhead looking for you." And I thought, that's weird. Nobody should be looking for me. And he said it was something about me having not checked in the day prior. So my mind was like, what, did I mess up my hostel reservation? And then I wondered if maybe my boyfriend had gotten worried, because as I was hiking down from Kokomo Pass, we had been chatting when I was up on the mountain. But as I went down, I lost cell service before I could send him my text message that I had written that said, basically, I'm going to camp at Cataract Creek. So that was midday, and it was a good, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles down to Cataract Creek, long way down into a canyon, and I didn't have cell service. So I used my Garmin InReach to try to send my canned message that I do when I don't have cell service, that just says that, hey, I'm in camp, and it's got my cell coordinate, or my GPS coordinates. So I set that outside my tent for like 45 minutes. And there were a lot of other hikers around, and we were having a good time. And when I checked it, the message had still not gone. So I thought, well, no big deal. I'll have cell service in the morning. And I turned off the InReach and I went to bed. And in the morning, I got up and I was hiking to town, as you saw, feeling okay, but still struggling on the ups, that sort of thing, but nothing out of the ordinary until I saw this gentleman on the trail. After I talked to him, I booked it to the trailhead, and there were two search and rescue, mountain rescue officers there at the trailhead, and they were very nice. They were standing there right at the trailhead with their truck, and they said, "Hey, we're your greeting party." And I was like, "Okay, why?" Well, it turns out that my boyfriend had gotten very concerned that he had not heard from me in about 24 hours, and he started calling around, and nobody else had heard from me either, and so he finally reached out to the local sheriff's office, which is the thing to do. He has my Colorado Trail guidebook, and so he knew what was the jurisdiction of the area that I had been in. And he reached out to them, and it turns out that there was some conversation between 3 different search and rescue agencies, but when they checked my Garmin, I pinged, even though my message didn't go through, the Garmin InReach pinged from the next canyon over, which is an inaccessible canyon. There was no way I should have been there, and that raised some alarm bells because they were concerned that maybe something had happened. They also, as they were waiting at the trailhead, were talking to other hikers, and a few people that I'd hiking with weren't sure about my status because they knew that I was having trouble on the uphills, and they were concerned that maybe something had happened and I had pushed my SOS button. So basically, people didn't know that I was fine and having a lovely hike until I got to the trailhead. And so, of course, I was a little bit embarrassed, and I apologized to the mountain rescue team, but they were very kind, and they said, this is what we do. It's not a big deal. Better that you're here and safe than something else happen, which is true, but of course I don't want to waste any resources. So I wanted to share that with you because there is a lesson there, and that is to make sure that your friends and family know, if you don't leave an itinerary, and that's kind of hard to do on a long trail, at least make sure they know what is the appropriate time to start a search for you. So Andy really did think that 24 hours was a reasonable time, and in most cases it would be, except sometimes technology doesn't work. So we talked about it and decided that for us, we're going to have a 30-hour window, and that may change depending on where I'm hiking and what the terrain is like. And if I have an expectation that I may be out of reach potentially for 2 or 3 days, then I will let him know that. And he's my first point of contact to reach out to my family and let everybody know if there's a problem. So he did everything right that somebody should do. He talked to search and rescue. He talked to my friends. I had stayed with a friend at Copper, my friend Sandy. He reached out to her. He reached out even to my trail family, which I didn't think was really necessary, but then as I talked to them later, they said, yeah, actually it was great because we knew other hikers, and we were reaching out to people that we knew on the Colorado Trail to see if any of them had seen you. So he put the call out appropriately to the right people. Andy also talked to the folks at Garmin, and they told him that there was no problem with the InReach system, but apparently there was. The search and rescue guys tested it themselves with their own devices, and there seemed to be some kind of either an outage or a slowdown with the satellite system, or possibly even a solar flare, so that a lot of people were having trouble getting messages out. So even though it's nice to have a satellite communicator that's got, I don't know how many satellites Garmin has, I think 11, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to get a message out, and it doesn't guarantee that the data is going to be 100% accurate because I pinged in a canyon where I shouldn't have been. So that's an additional lesson, is just to be mindful that technology is not foolproof, and you do have to have the resources yourself to take care of yourself in the outback or the outdoors. And so be mindful of that as well, and don't panic if you can't communicate. Just make sure that you know how to get where you're going, that you got your maps and all of those good things so that you can be self-sufficient. And hopefully, in the case of a real emergency, things will work properly, and then other hikers might go by and be able to assist you. But you got to be able to fend for yourself, and hopefully folks at home will also understand that those things are not foolproof. Thankfully, that all ended well, but it did remind me of just a really good lesson that I wanted to share with you. So I hope that that's been helpful. And I made it to Leadville. I've been having a great time, and I'll update you more on what that's been like in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.